Can you understand how some of us may think that your compassion could lead to bad results based on the numbers that we have here with recidivism? That Congress may need to work more on that to make sure that we get it right. Can you understand how somebody who, from our side of the aisle, could see that maybe there is some pattern to give the benefit of the doubt to someone who has been incarcerated, in some cases with very serious crimes?
Thank you, Senator. I don't recall saying anything about compassion in the way that you're describing it.
No. I'm just saying that if I take a look at your responses to some of my colleagues' questions and your statements to some of the defendants, it seems as though you're a very kind person and that there's at least a level of empathy that enters into your treatment of a defendant that some could view as a maybe beyond what some of us would be comfortable with respect to administering justice.
Thank you for letting me clarify. The statements that I made about my practices as a trial judge, which I'm no longer a trial judge, but were intended to explain how trial judges operate and how they impose sentences within the framework that Congress has provided. The statute that applies to us tells us to look at all of the various factors that Congress has set forward, including the nature and circumstances of the offense, the history of the characteristics of the defendant, and it tells us that we should be imposing a sentence sufficient but not greater than necessary to promote the purposes of punishment. Congress also tells us that one of the purposes of punishment is rehabilitation. My attempts to communicate directly with defendants is about public safety, because most of the people who are incarcerated via the federal system and even via the state system will come out, will be a part of our communities again, and so it is to our entire benefit, as Congress has recognized, to ensure that people who come out stop committing crimes. And so what I convey, or did when I was a trial judge, as I sentenced people to very lengthy periods of incarceration, was you are getting your day in court, you are able to say what you want to say, but you have to sit here and listen to my reading into the record the victim statements in this case. You have to go away understanding that I am imposing consequences for your decision to engage in criminal behavior. And the reason why I did that, I've said, is because I recognized as a defender that there were lots of people in our system who, instead of taking responsibility for what they had done and then ultimately understanding the harm and potentially not doing it again, instead of that, those people were bitter, they were angry, they were feeling victimized because they didn't get a chance to say what they wanted to say, because nobody explained to them that drug crimes are really serious crimes. Nobody said to them, do you understand that there are children who will never have normal lives because you sold crack to their parents and now they're in a vortex of addiction? Do you understand that, Mr. Defendant? I was the one in my sentencing practices who explained those things in an interest of furthering Congress's direction that we're supposed to be sentencing people so that they can ultimately be rehabilitated to the benefit of society as a whole.